Hey guys, we are live with Faz Radio. Let's get started. What's up, Mr. Titan? We have a good show today. Oh, you know what? I muted Mr. Titan. Hold on. There, you're unmuted now. I didn't want you to talk during our cool intro.
I know how to be quiet once in a while.
Okay, sure. I'd set you up
I'm
there, but
excited, man.
You're excited. Well, so yes, I made a slightly clickbaity title, but it's the best clickbaity titles are actually true. If you ever listen to Veritasium, he has a cool YouTube on the subject. How clickbaity titles are actually more true than the normal stuff that people don't click on. And that's because I have a direct experience with this situation of not owning my Gala coins. So yesterday, I thought I was pretty cool. I saw that the price of Gala, or I heard that the price of Gala was at 2 cents. And I was like, whoa, dude, I'm going to go get some. So I went to BitTrue, the exchange, and I sold some stuff and got some funds together and bought some Gala, a bunch of Gala. I won't say how much because I don't want to embarrass myself. But so I bought some Gala, and I was like, hey, pretty good. You know, I may do might resell at 4 cents again because I think it's going to go back up. Because anytime there's a big dip. Well, anyway, after a while, I heard. So I had set up my limit sell for 4 cents, and then later I hear that there was a hack. A hack on the on PancakeSwap, on some sort of bridge going from the Binance chain to the Gala chain. And I was like, uh-oh, well, that probably doesn't affect me. That probably affects like PancakeSwap or something, or Binance or something, but not us, or not BitTrue. And so I was like, that's not a big deal, but I'll take off the limit just in case there's a problem. I'll just take off my limit sell and just let it sit there. And then, so more facts have been kind of revealing themselves about this hack. And so just today I started hearing that people were buying things on Gala that they had bought on exchanges has been taken away from them. And or maybe not taken away, but replaced with something else. So I quickly went on to BitTrue to go check. It's like, okay, did they take mine? Because I think this has to do with the hack. I mean, it would make some sort of sense. And yep, true to form. My Gala was not there. But I had the exact same amount of something called pGALA, which then BitTrue didn't tell me about this. They just did it. And so later I started complaining on the Discord, and then people showed me something where BitTrue said, yeah, there was a hack, and people who bought Gala after this period of time, they now have something else called pGALA, and we'll let you know what's going to happen with that later. But that's a really big point here, is my Gala tokens were not my Gala tokens. And I thought I was buying something. I thought I was buying ETH Gala on BitTrue. What the fuck was I buying? If all of a sudden they tell me that, you know, I have something else. All right, you're up, Titan. I don't want to go on a polemic here. I just want to get the idea
that's okay.
Like, what the hell?
Yeah, so, all right. There are people who tried to nefariously take advantage of what was going on, and there were people who were legitimate, all right? And I've known you for over 30 years, and I can argue with you and think you're full of shit a lot, but at the same time, I can't recall a single time where you've ever misled or lied, right? So your true intentions of buying the token, right? If I wasn't paying attention, I can't be in the Galaverse, 24/7 either. If I saw a huge dip like that, I'd probably go and grab some myself. There are people who are going to get legitimately hurt by this. And the conversations I was reading today, both in the Gala server as well as CFA, there's a lot of discussion around where the blame is going to fall on this. And there were a lot of statements that were made by people that were both Gala associated and not Gala associated that could lead to a lot of, probably too much speculation on where that blame will go. I will initially say, and I'll probably catch a lot of flack for this, but I will initially say that I don't believe that Gala had the primary fault in this. That's not excusing fault, mind you, but I don't think the primary fault falls there. I think they could have gotten ahead of this a little bit more, which tends to make me believe that they may not have had as much information as people think they did. So that in itself could lead down, open the big old can of worms of like, well, why didn't they know about it? Duh. Aren't you paying attention?
Well,
yeah.
I hear that. Well, not that I hear. I suspect that they were surprised by it.
Well, see, you have these. This is exactly what I was trying to be careful with my words on, because some of those statements made it sound like, especially Bitbender, and I don't want to quote directly, but I do. The illusion in his one post was that, hey guys, everything's fine. Hey, we're just buying up the liquidity. Don't worry about it. Okay, so you did know something. If you're buying liquidity up, you did know something. When you knew it, maybe, is the question. So that's what I mean. It can lead you down like the I wonder if thing.
Well, okay, first of all, Gala's not the president of the United States. What they knew and when they knew it doesn't need to be published around the world the moment that they find out. However, something I might appreciate is it would be nice if they simply say something like, hey guys, shit's going down. We're looking into this. We're going to let you know what we find out. However, when things like this happen in the crypto world, what usually happens is everybody starts locking shit down. Like, shh, quiet, fuck, what the fuck? And start looking around. Okay, did you do? No, did you do? Okay, no, it's fine. And so then Gala, of course, is they're advertising. Look, we got a handle on this. Here, why don't you look at some of our other games? Hey, play the music. Things like that.
I agree with you. So why any of this stuff happen? Why does everything have to go sideways for Gala? I mean, quite literally.
Everything's not going sideways for Gala. Things are going just swimming. They're going just fine. What's the problem?
Yeah? You sure about that? I don't know about that.
Sure about that. I think they're doing fine. They got a lot of deals going on. They got a lot of games. Remember, this is a bear market. So, I mean, if you want to say things are going shitty for them, well, it's a bear market. Things are going shitty for everybody. SpiderTanks is now live. They got Townstar and SpiderTanks going. They got that Legends thing they got some shit going on. I think they're doing okay.
Okay, so that opens another can of worms, because I had my first SpiderTanks, or as I call it, shooty booms. It will never be SpiderTanks for me. It'll always be shooty booms. That is what the community voted for. Okay, so I will call it whatever I want.
They never promised, but that's okay. They certainly led people to believe.
Anyway, my first shooty booms experience, I bridged over to Jiri with some of the stuff that I had in my wallet, and I tried to get in there with you, and you and I couldn't even play together because it was my first experience, and apparently there's this thing called ELO, and that is like how good you are. And I knew I was shitty, right?
Wait a minute. We're not talking about the hack no more, are we?
No. Well, wait. We're going to circle back to it.
Okay, we'll go back to it.
So, well, we're going to circle back quick, but but this is for a later conversation. So it was poor. The experience was poor. Faz and I couldn't even play together because it said our ELO ratings were too far apart. And this falls right into what we were talking about, which is why it sparked this whole conversation. The I don't know defense, I think, for Gala is long overdue to be buried. They've used this excuse on 100 occasions. Most recently with this hack. Well, we didn't know it was coming. Okay, you should have. At this stage of the game, you should have. If you don't have people that are monitoring this stuff and circling back to check the code on a lot of these things, when you're going through an audit for a brand new Jiri chain, and I call it Jiri, people call it Gary, there's 100 different speculative names for this new chain. Gala wants to attract a ton of non-gaming as well as gaming companies to this chain. And if they can't get the original chain that they've been running on, this BSC chain, if they can't get the contract right for that, and I'm not saying they did it, I'm saying working with whomever created it, whether it was Binance or whoever else, if they can't figure out that they need to audit that, if they did audit it, didn't audit it, I've never seen an audit for that. If they can't secure that, how are people supposed to trust the Jiri chain for anything that they do? This is why, and they come out and they go, "Oh, we didn't know."
I think
Come on, man.
Okay, I think you've grabbed something kind of tangentially related, and you're saying something along the lines of, "Boy, if we can't trust him here, we can't trust him there." Okay, yeah, I certainly have problems with the way that they did things with SpiderTanks, but I am interested in what they know about this this hack that's been going on. So this hack apparently did they have anything to do with this? What's the latest that we know about this?
When I got home from work today, I did pop into a couple of places to try and grab some information on that. And it doesn't seem like they're much further along with information on what really happened yet. There's three basic stories that are being told here, and I think it's probably one story, but three different people from three different angles are describing it, so it sounds like three different stories. There's one story that says, "Hey, we were auditing this, and we discovered there was a vulnerability, so we hurried up before anybody did exploit it and tried to shut it down, but first we had to yank the liquidity out of it." The second story is, well, someone did get into it, which is what alerted us to the problem, and then we jumped in to try and save the day. And then there's the third story, which is, yeah, this is no problem. We knew this was coming. We planned it. And, we're working our way through it. We're just going to issue some new tokens. Everybody calm down. So there's a saying in leadership, when you go through leadership training, which I went through long ago, there's a saying that says you have three sides to every story. There's side A, there's side B, and then there's the truth in the middle somewhere. So when you look at this, it's probably a combination of all three of those things put together, but like ferreting out exactly what that truth is, I think is going to be tough. If you're talking, you're muted.
Nope, I was waiting on you. You kind of stopped in the middle of that sentence there.
No, right. The truth is in the middle, and again, the communication from all aspects has been poor, and this "don't worry about it" stuff. Okay, people are worried, man. This is their money. They're worried about it.
So
Please don't tell me not to worry about it.
looking at, well, I haven't said that yet. Looking at Antoine here on chat here, he says, "You guys make me get bipolar on Gala." Um, I've been like that with Gala the entire time. When I first got into them, I was suspicious, but they seem rather legit. Later, they make some decisions. I get like, okay, but okay, you're legit. I mean, it's Gala is, in my opinion, a good company and the real thing, but they also have issues. I think a lot of their issues are self-inflicted, and they could certainly do a lot better. Um, they certainly need to be brought up, but I like to be honest about them. Yes, I'm still quite bullish on Gala because they're hitting a very good angle in the gaming market. How successful will they be? Well, that's up to them. I mean, I hope they do a good job, and I'm rooting for them. But also, they're making a lot of missteps, especially with communication. And if you can go back to Faz Radio for as long as we've been talking about Gala, and I've always been hitting on this communication thing. Uh, I think they need to do a better job with communication.
We've been saying this for the entire 18 months we've had Faz Radio on the air. And they have improved, and I've given them kudos when they've improved, but they're regressing again. It's going backwards. And one thing that you really hit on a long time ago was that this communication has to come from one central place, right? They have to have like one voice, and we pushed really hard back then to begged almost Gala to throw Carrie into that role. She would have been perfect for it. They decided to use her a different way, which,
well, I think
it's their choice.
So the idea of Carrie was rather nice because Carrie is a nice person, and she said she would say hard truths in a very nice way, which I think we all liked. However, I'll say that the job of if you're a spokesman of any sort is hard because a spokesman has to balance the ideas of the company about your image with what's actually going on. So I would say it's a very hard position to be in. And honestly, I think where Gala is right now, it's really hard to work for them because they're still in what have some they still are in the area of extreme growing pains in an extreme bear market. So it's a hard job. To that end, I'm surprised they get as much done as they do. Some people think that I should be a lot harder on Gala, and I certainly think we should go through some things, which actually I have some things stored up and ready to go. But realize that it's hard to run a multi-billion-dollar company. Everybody has opinions. Everybody seems to think that they know what's best, but if you get in the job, I'm sorry, you'd choke. Most people would. I would. I'm not used to running a company that big. It's hard. And there's so much. It's so easy to get things wrong. It's so easy to let things slip by. I'm just thinking of things I do every day in my everyday life. How many things I miss all the time. Yeah, they certainly have a potential and are set up to do the best. But this is why a lot of companies fail. A lot of companies fail because shit's hard to do. Software development is hard. There. Now let's get into bashing Gala.
No, it's not about bashing Gala. They're in a trough right now where they can't get a win. And I rooted for them. I pushed them for a win. The last month or so, I've been rooting. I've been pushing. I've been giving them ideas on various things, and of course, they pat me on the head and go, yeah, and do whatever it is they're going to do. So they make their own bed. Now they have to lay in it.
All right.
And the decisions that they're making, I think, are not helping them.
So
So that's
and
where I'm at. I'm not bashing them. I'm not beating up
mhm.
on them. It's just talking about the consequences of the decisions they're making.
So Antoine here in chat says Jesse and Doc's departures are giving me doubts in the company's honesty, to be honest, but love your debate as always. So the honesty about the company. Well, they're honest about those departures. Here's the deal. In a startup, and I say this a lot. I've known a lot of recruiters, and I've asked them, I've asked them about this because I've been a contractor. I've been placed by a lot of recruiters, and I've been baffled by the behavior of a lot of the companies that I work for. I see some companies cleaning house. I see companies going through people all the time. And as a software developer, I can say that in software development, new companies go through 100% turnover in like the first few years. Why? Because they're searching for an identity. They're searching for how they want to do things. They're searching for the right people with the right attitudes. So Jesse and Doc are no longer with the company. Okay, there's reasons for that, and they might not all be all happy reasons. But regardless of what the reasons are, the company's still looking for an identity. It's looking for a way, a place to go. I'm not going to defend, that situation or anything like that. They might have left because it's too stressful. They might have left because maybe they weren't wanted. I don't know. It depends on how the company wants to see itself. I can tell you one thing. If you get in with a startup and they ask for something and you tell them no, they're going to start looking elsewhere, even if that no is justified. Technology wise, boss says, okay, I want this by next week. Sorry, that's not going to happen. They're going to start looking for somebody. They're going to be like, okay, I want somebody to tell me yes. And okay, you're gone. Let me go get somebody who can tell me yes. And we're also in a legal world right now where there's a lot of laws in flux over crypto. There's a lot of ways to interpret things. And there's also in companies, remember I said yesterday, billionaires like to ride the line. Rich people like to ride the line. So I have a feeling Gala is really riding the line and trying to blaze a new trail with their stuff. To that end, I think anyone who tells them no, now I wouldn't suggest that. That's not a good, safe legal strategy to have. Bye. I mean, that's the legal strategy to have in crypto is to ride the line or go over the line and then make it legal. Basically, it's get enough influence to where you can get the law changed. That's what billionaire companies do in my observation.
Well, I'll agree with you and disagree with you.
By the way, that's not a defense.
There's going to be a lot of turnover, yes. Okay. But you have to look at what the level or type of person that's turning over is. You're going to have with an employee base of 425 people, a 50% turnover rate for a startup would be normal. But you usually don't see the top people or the people towards the top that are turning over at the rate that those are turning over.
Are you saying that Doc and Jesse were the top people?
I'm suggesting that they were very key people, yes, and they're not the only ones. If you go on and do a LinkedIn search, you'll see resumes or I'm available on quite a few people that are associated with Gala that aren't just, and I hate, please don't take this the wrong way to demean anybody, but regular employees, not some of the top people. And it's, I don't want to say it's concerning, but it does kind of raise the eyebrows a little bit. For, what's the why behind the why on that?
Oh, there's probably a good reason for that. See, what I'm simply talking about is that's how the sausage is made. Uh, the goal of any company, I think, should be to retain people. But when I've run things, when I've been in charge, because I've been both a developer, well, I've been a developer, a team lead, architect, and manager in different roles. And I found that when I'm manager, people tell me no. I start looking for the people that tell me yes. When I'm a developer, I just want to be as realistic as possible. I'm like, okay, look, this is going to be hard. And, you know, I don't know if they're the good managers that say, I don't believe you or I don't want that. Um, and then there's their personalities. In fact, the manager I think about the most that most grew me was the biggest prick of all of them. I wouldn't want to work for him again because he was a big prick, but uh, made a lot of sense and I learned a lot from it.
And it it could be nothing. Paul Willow mentions Jesse Hines leaving gives you doubts. Really? Yes. um, it it doesn't like make me want to go sell all my Gala, but it does raise my eyebrows.
Well, okay.
And
First of all, what's the reason why you bought the Gala to begin with? Did you buy it because you one, you thought you had an investment in the company, or two, you thought the company was going to be, going to be around for a long time? What were you thinking when you got it?
no, so it has nothing to do with the company because when you buy Gala tokens, you're not buying a part of the company. You're buying the platform's success. Um, you're
Well, that
betting,
makes it
as you always
that
like
makes
to
it a
say.
security actually if you're buying the platform success.
Well, you're betting that what they're going to do, as you always say, you're betting. You're betting that that platform is going to be more successful than when you bought into that token because it might be a security. I've argued on Faz Radio multiple times that, and really early, as a matter of fact, like over a year ago, that the Gala token would be a security. I think it is, but I'm not the guy who brands it. Um, I do think that as you have these events happening and as you see this platform unfold, that Gala token will be an indicator of success or failure for the platform. As you even pointed out, naming it Gala was like a bad move, right? You shouldn't name it after that. That automatically kind of puts the radar focus to a higher level. Um, but it's what they do with it and how they spread that out. And I think overall that it doesn't weaken my view of success about Gala, but it raises my eyebrows. What in the world is going on where you have a lot of these very talented, very passionate people that are suddenly just gone, whether it's by
Okay.
choice or by
Okay.
circumstance?
If I knew less about business than I know, I would be worried about Jesse Hines leaving. If I knew less about crypto, I'd be worried about Jesse Hines leaving. Um, by the way, it's worth mentioning that we might be having him on the show very soon. Just forget about that. Anyway, um, is he a small fish in a big pond? Maybe. I mean, if what he's, I thought he was in charge of their legal department actually, or was going, or he was spinning up a legal team. I don't know the all the facts there, and I would bet that Gala has many other lawyers besides just him. I thought he was general counsel at Gala, if I'm not mistaken. So small fish in a big pond. I don't know. That said, I don't have that big of worries about him leaving. I think when you have a lawyer leave, that you probably think that maybe you want to, maybe they're advising you not to do things that you want to do, and maybe you want to take more risks. Okay, that's just off the top of my head. Okay, if that's the case, then Eric Shiremeyer probably said, okay, I want somebody who will tell me yes. I want somebody who will show me how it's legal or something. If it might be, if you're the smart person, you don't do those things. But as I have said many times, rich people get more justice than non-rich people. Rich people can ram things through that non-rich people cannot ram through. You can totally invest in and do things that are quasi legal and would get me and you in trouble. But since they have the ability well, they have the ability to spend a lot of money, so much money that legal costs are part of the business plan. It's part of the cost of doing business. So it's okay. Let's make this work. We're going to make a marketplace. We're going to make people like us, and we have enough resources to make that happen. I think people don't realize that billionaires live by totally different rules.
Are we sure Gala's a $1 billion company?
Were they? Are they? I don't know. I know at one time they were. What was that? Antoine said $5 billion budget with a less than 300 million market cap. You're talking about the Gala token. How much insight do we have on how much the individual stakeholders of that company own, like of the actual company itself? So I mean, there's. I am totally happy to give them a hard time about it, but I need to know more information. Oh, by the way, Wolf Knight says thank you for the artwork. He won our zip bug contest last night. And by the way, I realize I'm just jumping between different topics right now, so sorry about that. I'm a bit ADD today.
Well, so with how do I want to phrase this?
See, I've confused you already.
No, you haven't confused me. I want to try and tie all this together, right? So the best way to describe lately what's been going on is probably just chaos, right? And we have people leaving. We have a SpiderTank launch with more glitches than I think we all expected. We have this, I don't even know if we call it a hack. I can't even read through the lines on all this stuff to find out exactly what it is that is what took place. We have music and film that's kind of up in the air. Nobody can follow the fire hose of information coming from all these places. We have signals that are coming out that people aren't interested in buying very much from Gala anymore with their recent sales numbers.
You're leaving a lot unsaid there. Who's quote people?
Wait, what?
You said people aren't buying a lot. Who's people?
Right.
People?
There's been quite a few sales lately. We have the Lost Fuzzles. We have the music side with the newer artists. We have the music nodes, which aren't really moving. And everybody just goes, oh, it's the crypto winner. Well, it now the smart people, if they're really interested, the smart people are buying this dip. And nobody's still buying.
Maybe because they're out of money.
There's enough people on this platform that have enough money that still aren't buying. And it's just kind of chaos at the moment. And it sounds like there's not much coming out from Gala, from the communication side, that is reassuring anybody of anything at this point.
So that's a good point. So I've mentioning many times, you've mentioned messaging many times. It sounds like you think that an integral part of being a Web3 crypto company, especially during this time of bear market, is that they should be uplifting and make you feel really good about them. They just released a trailer today, which is I really don't like the hype way that they do things. It's like, yay, look at all the stuff we're doing. We're getting into this, we're getting into this, we're getting into this, we're getting into, we're doing that, we're doing that. How's that make you feel? Do you want more of that? Or do you want a different kind of thing? Me, myself, I want something where people actually get into the details, tell me what they're doing, how they're getting stuff done. What are you looking for?
I'm not looking for anything in particular other than them to organize themselves and act
You want them to
like they
demonstrate.
are,
You want them to demonstrate organization, probably.
that they're a mature professional company. They're not a bunch of frat house boys being cool and trying to sell stuff so they can make cool games that people want to play. And
Hey,
that
Atari was like
phase
that.
is
Atari, they all
over.
smoked pot every day in the office.
Yeah,
In the
and
70s.
how relevant is Atari today?
Hey, they owned the market in the 70s and early 80s. Then they
Right.
had a huge bear market, in which case Nintendo won. But still,
Well, they're irrelevant today
well,
because they acted like that past their maturity point.
oh, okay.
So that's my point is, if they want to be taken seriously, they got to get their act together. So if you want to know what I want to see them stop acting like frat boys, and I want them to be a professional company with professional accountability for themselves and for the community. And I want them to organize themselves into a communication machine that balances the right amount of transparency with the right amount of hubris to say, hey, wow, yeah, we realize there's a lot of shit fucked up in SpiderTanks. Let's here's the plan that we're going to put together to try and get this fixed. Here's what we're doing to do that. In the meantime, do the best you can to play on SpiderTanks, but here's what we're going to do in the meantime. The part, and you'll love this one. You'll probably jump on this and run for a while because it's probably time to go into it. You launch SpiderTanks with this ridiculously complicated economy for earning, and then there's no way to get your tokens out, and there's no timeline on when that's going to happen. Just, hey, we're working on it, then we need to get audited, and then we'll release it.
I thought
Seriously?
I thought we went into that last night a lot.
Well, we went into it a little bit, but I mean, you people are buying into this, and they're just like, oh yeah, whatever. Okay, well, that's kind of concerning. It really is. What do you mean if I bridge my stuff over, am I going to be able to get it back out? Number one. Two, I don't even understand how I earn. And there's people that are like deep into SpiderTanks that can't even coherently explain how the hell people earn anything. And then there's the silence on the back end. Well, we don't even know when we're going to have this bridge open. And by the time we open it, well, we might have some more places to have this go. And yeah, you own all your stuff. Yeah, rah, rah, rah. You get your soak tokens, you get your tanks. But yeah, well, we're discouraging you from maybe selling that. We want your stuff here, but they're not giving you a reason to keep it here.
Well, I think it's accurate to say that right now, if you are, it's safe to say, not accurate, but it's safe to say that right now, if you're into Gala Games, you're still kind of ahead of the curve. I wouldn't get your grandmother into this game, even though I will say that they've made it a lot easier to start playing these games. Forged in Crypto last night showed how easy it is to start playing these games. Unfortunately, they just barely have things hooked up, and like you said, they're not helping, they're not shepherding you through this process. And okay, I think that stuff will come later. But what that really means is if you're playing these games right now with Gala Games, you're really ahead of the curve and it's still early. Gala Games isn't mature yet. Okay, if it's not a mature company and you need them to be mature, stay the fuck away from them. You're not the right person that you're not their target audience right now. Their target audience apparently is a lot of richer people who can afford to just go dump fuckloads of money into these games. I mean, to have a good spider tank, you have to put how much money in this shit? How much do those ancient tanks cost? I haven't looked at the site lately. I'm gonna go look right now.
So when okay, that's all fine and good, but then at the same time they're talking out of the other side of their face, saying, "Oh, it's absolutely essential that we have a ton of players on this platform." How are they going to attract platform players when their marketing, as you just said, is geared towards we want whales and whales only, helping this grow? You can't have it both ways. And you have to have a ton of players putting money into this ecosystem in order for it to work. Because Gala can't keep paying out rewards when nobody's contributing into the system.
Okay, so I'm looking at the website here, and maybe I can even share my screen here. I think I'll do that. Sorry for you people on Apple and Spotify. You can't see what I'm doing, but I'll narrate what I'm doing. How's that? Where is this share screen stuff here? Press the share screen. Spider tank stuff. Wait a minute, I'm getting there. Hold on. Screen number 2. Share.
All right. While you're fiddling with that, I posted a comment.
I'm here. I'm here. Wait.
All right. I'll save my comment then.
There we go. Sorry. Okay. So I'm looking at these tanks. You'd think that, your grandma can get started playing this game. Or not your grandma, maybe your kid can get started playing this game. You can buy this brand new tortoise tank here. Okay, you can get that brand new tortoise tank there for 2,600 Gala. How much is that? We say that Gala is at 3 cents. That's 2,600 times 0.03. That's $78. Okay, just a basic starter tank is going to cost you more than a AAA game right now. Let's go to. You're not going to earn a lot if you play this. You might get one victory point per game, right? And so if you get one victory point, and seeing that silk trades at one silk is worth 1,000 victory points, you're gonna have to play 1,000 games to get one silk. Now you need silk. The silk is the coin generated by playing spider tanks. You need silk in order to buy upgrades for this guy. So I'm trying to think. 1,000 games, and each game lasts about 2 or 3 minutes. So let's just say if one game lasted 5 minutes with the waiting, that's 5,000 minutes to upgrade this guy to where you can get a little bit more. Or you could spend more money. Well, if this is $78, this is almost triple that. So now we're paying $2,100, $210 for this guy. Now you've gone up more. Now we all know if we have a tank that's a legendary or epic, you get one of these guys, you can earn a lot more victory points each game. I have a legendary. With my legendary, I'm earning about 100 victory points per game. That's still one hell of a curve. And it's going to be quite a big slog just to upgrade all my stuff. So I can do it a lot better than this guy. This guy's going to be taking for fucking ever to do it. This common dude here that I paid $78 for. This guy, this legendary. By the way, I got that as an airdrop. I didn't buy it. 261,000 Gala. So what's the price of that? 261,000. I'll round it off times 0.03 because Gala trades at 3 cents right now. $7,830 to get something that I can earn a lot faster with the game. But it's not about earning. Of course, it's about earning. So of course, the people that get the lion's share of the victory points, you'll get like 1,000 victory points each game. So if you get this ancient right here, which is double that, so about $14,000 or $15,000, you can get something that can earn you about what, 1 silk per match. 1 silk is worth right now about $2.50. So, maybe you should just play to play and not play to earn.
Well, you can, and then you have to weigh it in. If you're just a pilot, you go in, you can not buy a tank and pilot somebody else's that they're renting.
Explain the pilot thing a little bit better.
I don't know it well enough, but I know there's a split. The owner of the tank gets a portion of it, and the captain or pilot of that takes a chunk of it as well.
So let me explain that a little bit better. So you can buy a tank and you can rent it out to other people. You are known as a captain if you own the tank, and the person who actually uses the tank is the pilot. So you can play with the tank yourself and earn the money, or you can rent it out to other people. It's a feature of the game, and then you'll get a cut of every match that they win. So I have 2 tanks, so I rent one out and I play with another one.
How much in rental have you gotten? Has anybody even rented your tank?
So you got to have something called a drop pod, which you generally have to pay for, but you get 1 free one if you if you have 1 tank. I don't know. I am seeing that I'm getting some income, but I also get income because I have a node, and I have income because I have maps. So I don't know which is which. I don't.
Has anybody rented your tank?
I don't know.
They don't tell you that?
It does not seem to be in the game anywhere to show me who has rented it, how much it's been rented, how much I'm getting. None of that's broken down, so I don't know.
Oh. Okay. So if you can go in and just rent a tank and play for free, why aren't there thousands of people doing that?
Well, because those thousands of people aren't the target of their advertising. And maybe if you did target by the way, here's how much things cost. So when you get your silk awarded for the games you play, you have to upgrade your tanks. You need to buy these things: energy core, engine. By the way, this is like 0.5 silk, 0.2 silk, 0.1. Most things are going to have these chips, bolts, and scrap metal. Those are nuts, not bolts, but they call them bolts, which are like 0.05 of the spider tank coin silk. Then you have this stuff, arachnium. Wow, 95 silk for that. Oh, look, you got 5 silk off for this one. See the 100 scratched out? So you can buy things for the silk to upgrade your tank. But it's really hard to get this silk. Really hard. Anyway, none of the stuff is detailed out as to how much you win and how often. But even with my legendary tank, I'm not winning enough to be able to upgrade things all the way or upgrade very fast. That's with the legendary. With a common, no fucking way. Not unless you got like a team of South Korean professional game players playing with your tank 24/7.
So that is exactly what I was going to say when you were loading this up, and I said I'll comment while you load this up.
Well, I got to say it, not you. See?
Well, no, but I mean, I've said it a couple of times already, and I've posted it both on CFA and in Gala, and they pat me on the head and say, there, yeah, we hear you, and they don't do anything about it. It is 100% about player experience and how they feel when they're here. That is where you're going to get your adoption. You could have high prices. You could have glitches, you can have boo-boos, you can have all of those things. If you still provide a fantastic, way better than anywhere else experience on this platform, you will stay, you will spend money, and you will help make the platform successful. My first experience with SpiderTanks was complete dog shit. I had to play exhibition matches just to be able to play with Faz, and one of my friends,
You can't
right?
earn. You can't earn with an exhibition match.
And not only could I not earn, nor could I get ELO from that, which is what I need to play the competitive part with earnings. But Faz, as a courtesy, played with me just so I could play with him, and he doesn't earn when he's in that mode because he had to play an exhibition. So I thought, all right, I'm going to go and I'll try and play a few games by myself to maybe if I play a few actual games in the matchmaker, that way then I'll get an ELO rating that's maybe not 0, and maybe I can play with Faz. It would matchmake for 2 or 3 minutes. I would pop into a game. It would load the game. I would take 3 steps with my spider tank, and it would crash and say communication error 409 and kick me out. And I did that like 4 times, and then I quit. I gave up. I'm like, no. So how was my first experience? Imagine for a moment, I hope you're listening, Gala Games. Imagine for a moment some of your whales, some of the people who have been like totally into this ecosystem. They go and they grab 4 of their friends and bring them into this, and they spend $70 on an entry-level tank. They go in there and they can't even play with their friend. Then they try and go and figure out how to play with their friend.
Well, they can play,
and they get kicked out.
They can play with their friend. They just can't earn anything while they're doing it. It's almost like playing and earning are 2 separate activities.
Well, okay, this is what I'm talking about. That's a shitty experience. Are those people going to come back and spend money on the Gala platform later? I doubt it. So now you have 4 people, just from one person, you have 4 people who aren't going to come back to Gala again. But maybe they like the idea of play to earn. They're going to go find other games to go spend their money on, because that experience they had when they were here was crap. You've got to do better, Gala. You've got to do better. That's where you're going to get the adoption. And especially if you're going to start marketing this now that it's live. If you're going to start marketing this and the experience I just described that I had is what people are going to get when they arrive at this platform, don't even spend the money. Don't spend the $10 million in ad revenues to get people here, because they're never going to come back. It's a waste of money.
Okay, I'm not going to defend Gala, but I am going to say something that people might not like. I used to have the same problem with Apple, with the iPhone. iPhones were always more expensive than Androids. They always ran less. They promised a perfect elite experience, and from what I understand, they apparently deliver it to those people that like it. But Android gives me a whole lot more options, and I've never been rich enough to really want to keep buying an iPhone. And when those new iPhones come out, they come out with like a slightly different shape or slightly different color, and people lose their fucking minds over it and go buy the latest one. They spend thousands of dollars for the next latest iPhone. They have rabid people. And iPhones are not 100% of the market. They're not 50% of the market. They're a very small part of the market, but it's the elite people that play it. If anything, maybe Gala is going after those people that buy iPhones, but if they're going to do that, then like you said, they need to step up and make this an almost absolutely perfect playing experience.
And I will even grant them, it sounds condescending. I don't mean to be condescending. I will even grant them, okay, this is brand new and there's going to be glitches. Okay, little glitches is what I expected. Okay, the map jerks over to the left every time you hit the edge, or maybe there's a little stutter here and there. That's what I expected. But the experience I had was terrible. And that should not be what this first game release for Gala is like. And
Well, I think the important part is what you're saying is your experience was terrible. I'm curious to think what Gala is thinking what the optimal experience should be in this situation. Are they thinking that everybody's having fun, or are they thinking that just because we got it out, that's good enough?
you know who's having fun? The people who own ancient tanks that spent $12,000 on that tank and they're collecting all the silk at the moment. That's who thinks it's fun, because they're banking all this silk for when the bridge opens up and they can go. They have an ancient tank. They don't need to upgrade it. They're going to take that and they're going to dump it. So, what is that going to do to the economy when that happens? See, that's the danger of having the marketing be to all these people who have all this money. They're going to get the top tier stuff where they don't need to spend their money on upgrades. So they're just collecting tokens that they're going to go and sell to try and get back some of the $12,000 that they spent on that original tank.
Yeah. Who makes a purchase for $12,000 that are not expecting some sort of ROI? Come on, who? With a video game, I can understand. Well, actually, anything. If you bought yourself a car, you're expecting some ROI. You're expecting the car to be able to get you to work every day and save you from having to spend money on a bus. Um, if you just go take the bus for a buck or so, you're not expecting to get a big return. So with a game, you can buy something for an entire game for $50, or you can spend more and get a single tank when you play the game. And should that be enough? I mean, was that their intention? Are they trying to do better? Well, I'm not hearing that. I'm
So,
hearing we got the best damn game in the whole fucking cryptoverse.
all right, so there is so much running through me right now with stuff to say, but I do want to. This is a great comment. Rocket Life. There should be an honor system activated soon, hopefully when the token sale will be open. Let's dive into this. Okay. What is the honor system? Do we all know what that is? Do you know what it is, Faz?
Basically, I'm going mute because I'm eating at the same time. But
You're always eating when we're on these things.
apparently, just playing and winning, playing the games and winning games daily gives you an honor score. And if you get the honor score, then it helps you be able to earn other things in the game. And all I know is for me to get node rewards and map rewards, I need to be playing the game. I think map rewards. I'm not sure about node, but so I need to worry about the honor system. But I don't know if other people who don't have those things need to worry about it.
So is the honor system tied to selling tokens?
No, I think it's tied to receiving tokens.
So you won't be penalized then if you sell tokens.
I don't know right now. Not that I'm aware of.
Does anybody have any deeper thought on this honor system? Because I was under the impression, and if I'm wrong, I'm sorry, but I was under the impression that this honor system would, as it was described, put checks and balances on outflow of tokens.
No, there's
from
been
the game.
talk. There's been talk about that. There's been talk about about managing the flow of silk out of their system. And of course, you want to manage it because you don't want the economy to completely go belly up, kind of like it did with Axie Infinity. But Axie Infinity had a problem in that their economics weren't entirely complete. I believe you got money just for breeding more Axies, and then there was no sinks for that. To me, actually, right now it seems that there's far more sinks in silk than actual money paid out. So that's gonna need to be adjusted, in my opinion.
So let me ask the horrible question, and I'm gonna love how you answer this. And OMS, if you're listening, get ready with your magic fingers on the keyboard for Faz's answer. Is it right or just for Gala Games to market themselves as a Web3, we want to be decentralized company, to put a onus, whether it's physical, actual, or even assumed, to the, hey, you own your assets, you can do whatever you want with them, to penalize, restrict, or otherwise discourage people from doing anything with their tanks, their weapons, or their tokens?
Boy, I have to unpack that one. You can't just ask a straight question.
That is a straight question. Is it in the spirit of Web3, which is what they're marketing, decentralized, which is what they're marketing, to either physically or by assumption, or as you always say, threat, get people to not take their assets off the platform?
I think that they are currently building out, the Web3 arena is currently building out what its morals are. I'm not going to approve of it or disapprove of it. I think that they're trying to figure out the right way to manage things. And as far as morals go, I don't know if they're spending a lot of time with your morals or my morals, but more like their morals. It's important to know that if you did put insane amounts of money into SpiderTanks, hi dogs.
Yeah, my wife has the cat in the bedroom with her, and my dogs are outside the door fighting to try and jockey for position to see if they can get in there and kill the cat.
So if you have put insane amounts of money into SpiderTanks and you live in a poor country, wow, you could make like $2 or $5 a day. $2 to $5 a day is quite a lot of money in other countries. Although that's kind of silly because you'd have to be rich to begin with and buy the stuff to begin with in order to make that kind of money. It's not like you can buy a $78 tank and get $2 a day off of it. So I'm not exactly sure who's being targeted, but I will say that I think that they're still building it out. I think it's going to take a number of months for this economy to work itself out. I'd like to hear how they plan to adjust the economy. And it's worth mentioning that however they adjust the economy, somebody will be pissed, because there are people right now taking advantage of the colossal amounts of silk that they're getting. If they adjust it to where that person gets less, that person's going to be angry. Well, most of those people we know are ancient tank owners. They have the top of the line, really expensive stuff. Those people might be pissed because they would be getting a whole lot less.
Well, I think that most people don't even know how the economy works, because there's apparently, and this is pure speculation because I can't even figure this out, how this all works, because it's so damn complicated. But there's a random effect apparently, because there's some people who were reporting, hey, I've got an uncommon, I played my 20 matches and I got like 2 silk for the day, when other people who had rare stuff,
you won't get 2 silk for playing 20 matches. I'll tell you that. You'll get it for winning 20 matches.
I don't have it on my screen, but I'm trying to make my point. And there's other people that went, oh, wait a minute, I've got a rare which should earn more than that, and I only got like 0.25, and I played for 10 hours. So there is speculation that there's some kind of random algo in there that is nerfing and buffing and doing all kinds of weird things in there as well, which adds, of course, more mystery to it.
There's a lot of factors that they're intentionally not publishing because honestly, I think they're worried about people gaming the system. No pun intended. Once that's kind of the rub. Once you start publishing a method, somebody's going to learn how to play the game in order to get things up to that, and you're constantly going to be adjusting. Personally, I thought, okay, that's just Gala Games' job. They're going to constantly be adjusting. They're not exactly doing that. Instead, they're like with Townstar, they didn't constantly adjust at all. They didn't adjust at all. It just failed. And I suspect that they knew for months that Townstar was having problems, but they made no adjustments whatsoever. Well, the same thing goes with the tanks. Are they just going to leave it like this and then just hope that the economic factors will all balance out? Or will they actually adjust things? See, when you create a coin, a new coin for any reason, you're going to have to manage the economics of that, some amount of economics, or at least my observation is those who have created new coins. If I were to make a new coin today called a Faz coin, I might want to put the economics in the system. Like when you spend so much gets burned, or if you trade, some get burned or something like that, because you want to increase liquidity, and maybe you're trying to look to make the price go higher too. And so you want to give people incentives to own the coin. And what happens is that makes people who create those coins, it turns them into like the Fed, the United States Fed, the U.S. central bank. You basically become a central bank. And I think actually Gala is afraid of acting as a central bank on their coins. Or at least if they're not afraid, they're going really, really, really slow. I would suppose that any amount of adjustment of how earnings work is going to make the news. I think that they need to make this more common and say, look, we're going to be adjusting this coin liquidity often. We want to make sure that the liquidity is there. Maybe their lawyers are telling them that's a bad idea.
Well, there's that fine line again, right? How much can Gala get in there and tweak before it becomes manipulation? If they adjust the economy or pull the levers or whatever verbiage you want to use, and it affects the token price, that's going to be deemed as manipulation. It's also going to push it further into this is a security area. And it is a fine line. And especially if they get to a point to where they are by decree or by allegation restricting the ability for people to take what they own, they say that the players own, and do whatever they want with it. And if they penalize them in any way for doing so, that's going to be a problem that they're going to bump into. And if it isn't just a straight legal problem from people getting pissed and suing them, it's going to ruin, again, the player experience for players who witness that and see it. Because who's going to want to come into an ecosystem where you have players on the Discords and on Twitch or anywhere else that's streaming this game that goes, oh man, I this honor system that they have there, or whatever it is, whatever metric they use, maybe it's not the honor system, maybe it's just an indicator on their dashboard that does a frowny face because they sold. how are people going to react? Is that going to want to attract people to that ecosystem where it's like, okay, I grinded my ass off for 2 months in this game. I got 15 silk tokens. I sold it. Now I have a giant red frowny face on my profile that I have to look at because I sold what I earned. Is that going to attract players to that?
That's some pretty rampant speculation. That's not something that they've done right now.
No, I'm bringing up a scenario because the encouragement is to keep your stuff on the platform. So number one, they don't have at this point, they have syncs, yes, but they don't have attractive syncs in order to keep people on the platform with their tokens, with their tanks and everything else. You have to, as a gaming company, in my opinion, you have to create an environment where what you're selling is going to be more attractive than taking your coins off and selling it to go do something else. They don't have that right now, in my opinion. That's what they need to get. It shouldn't be forced. It shouldn't be a big, right? Because we don't know. If they do a big frowny face because you took your tokens off platform, there has to be something as a carrot on that other side that's more attractive to the player than selling those tokens. And if you do that, you also then can't continue to market earning, play to earn, play to you own your assets. This is Web3. You can do whatever you want. If you want to market it as or if you want a platform that's going to be a closed ecosystem, then market it as a closed ecosystem and say, hey, be honest with people, be upfront and say, look, come into the platform. You're going to spend some money. Yeah, but you're going to have a kick-ass experience. And then you have to own that, and you have to provide a actual kick-ass experience on there to keep people within that closed system. Then it's all fine and good. Then nobody can bitch. And they have a great time on the platform, and they can take their silk token to another game and exchange it for Materium tokens, so they can go and do epic things with that Materium token in Mirandus when it's out, right? So create that wonderful thing. And you know what Gala's going to say? We just haven't gotten there yet. And it's this continual carrot on a string in front of you. We're not there yet. We're not there yet. We're not there yet. Give us time. Give us time. I said this about a year ago. You had the time. You were the leader. Now, unfortunately, there's a lot of competition. And by the time that you build this platform out, where you have 10, 12, 14 games that are running smoothly and providing a kick-ass experience and providing incentives that keep people on the platform and spending tokens inside the platform, by then, people are going to have pulled out, they're going to have sold their stuff, and they're going to move on to another ecosystem where that is just happening naturally and ready to go. So this balance that you talk about all the time, this balance has to be done now. No more of the carrot dangling on the stick in front of you. It has to be done now. And this is where I circle back to my original thought. They have to be a mature, non-frat house kind of platform. How do they do that? Well, I'm available as a consultant. I can go in and teach you how to do that. But they're not going to do that. They're going to keep doing things the way they're doing it. And I don't think it ends well for the players. I don't think it ends well for Gala. I don't think it ends well for the industry as a whole. Because even though they're not front page news right now, they're not on, well, they are because of this hack, unfortunately, or whatever you want to call it. They aren't going to be front page news because of success at the rate that they're going. They're going to be on the front page because people are pissed off. And you can't use hey, any news is good news, any news is marketing. There's no such thing as bad marketing. There is. People aren't going to come here and spend money if all they see is bad experiences.
Wow, that was a rant. I'm not
that
sure.
That was a rant.
I would say that you were repeating yourself, but I don't think you exactly did. I do feel like there's a bit there was a bit much in that. People are going to come. I'm sorry. That's like telling people that crypto is bad right now. There's a lot of people, everybody, all my friends that I try to talk to about crypto, they're like, oh my God, crypto's a scam. Crypto's a scam. Why is there more investment every year in crypto? Why is there investments every day during this bear market in crypto? I'm seeing it every day. If you just read the news, Fidelity, they just came out with some new products. They're going after individual retail investors now. Before they were going after companies. Now they're going after retail investors. Why is Fidelity making it so that individuals can invest in crypto if crypto is doing so bad? The same thing goes with the games. All this infrastructure is being built out. Yeah, games are rough right now. Games suck right now. Everybody wants to say that the games are going to go away. No, they're not. Sorry, they're making enough money as it is. They're going to keep going. Gala Games has found a niche. They're going to keep keep going after that niche, and they're going to keep going after people. You can tell by the way that they do their marketing. Just look at what they do. Like I said, they just released this hype-tastic trailer today. If you go on Twitter, I'm sure you can find it. It's like 10 minutes of hype. Wow, look at this. Isn't this great? Isn't this wonderful? And it's like, look at all of what we're doing. They have people that eat that shit up. Those people are going to get into Gala Games. There's a lot of rich people out there right now. Those people are the people you need on board in order to go further. And you ask any rich person if something's fair, they're going to say, well, it must not be for you. That's really what it is. Do we have any more comments about this hack here? Are we done with that? Because I was looking at, I had grabbed some snippets from the CFA Discord about people giving Gala a hard time about the hack, and I was just curious if you had any observations from the stuff that you've read, because I wanted to show people how they might not actually own their coins, especially when they use them on an exchange.
Well, that's, what, that reminds me of something. Owning your own stuff. Do you know what you can own, Faz?
Oh, I think I'm hearing a segue.
You can own a physical NFT of a bug.
This is a commercial. Lean into it. Go for it. We'll resume that other conversation after this commercial.
So we talked about it a little bit last night. Faz has these physical NFTs, which you've seen some pictures posted. You've seen my video, hopefully, of these physical NFTs. They're epic. They are really epic. This is something that nobody else does. You can't get a Bored Ape physical NFT. You can't get a Yugi. Is that how it's pronounced? I don't know what it is.
Yu-Gi-Oh? What?
Yeah, something
Pokemon?
Like that. They're making all kinds of NFTs about this stuff now. You can't get physical NFTs of that. You get access to a special area. Well, right now you can get a physical NFT that is high quality, handmade by Faz, and it can be in your mailbox in 5 to 7 days. These things are going to go like crazy. There's a new set that's going to be coming out. Faz is experimenting left, right, upside down, and backwards to make this the best experience. We talked about the Gala experience. This experience is 100 times better. All right. You're going to get it in your hands and you're not going to believe what you get.
Well, let me correct you first of all. So I have some zip bugs that I make, and when you buy a zip bug, I'm making it so that you can get some physical rewards. I don't want to say physical NFTs, and I'm not going to say it yet because physical NFTs are actually something that has some sort of code that connects it to the blockchain. Usually they have a little chip in it or something like that. These are physical rewards that I'm making, and having printed up and having made as well, that correspond to the NFTs. So I want to use the right term because I do have this idea that I want to keep education as a priority here. But the physical NFTs are actually coming. I'm working with people on getting that to work. So basically, I'm trying to raise awareness of my zip bugs and chroma bugs. And so I'm giving one away each Faz Radio. This one I'm giving away right here. It's I should put a link here, but only to people that like it. You see these 0 favorites? Well, that's what I'm trying to get. I'm trying to get more likes on them. So if you go and you favorite it, then your name will be on the list of favorites. Let's see. Let's sign that there. I think, did I have to pay for that signature? If we look at the favorite here, I can't look at that, can I? If I can look at the favorites, I could see a number of people that favored it. One of those favorites will get this zip bug, and they'll get an NFT mailed to them. So I'm going to put this in the chat here, so at least you can see it. If you like zip bugs, if you don't, you can just skip past this message here and move on with your life.
Yeah, I'll go back. I'll put the sections into it. So
this one here was inspired by the movie Up, by the way.
So that's because we're old now. We're like the old man with the balloon. So what do you? All right, let's ask this question. Let's go back a year. All right, November of 2021. Let's compare your thoughts on Gala Games back then to 1 year later, November of 2022. Where is your head, and where do you think Gala? Do you think they're the same? Do you think they're worse? Do you think they're better? What do you think?
So November of 2021, the bull market was doing quite well. Gala was going through the fucking roof with its price. It apparently seemed to be Gala's moment, and I had a lot of optimism. Why? Because I have some Gala, and I was rather happy to be making money. But but the fact that people were buying the token showed me that people were very interested in Gala. Since then, the bear market has hit, and now all coins have gone down, Gala including. All speculative things. Whenever you have a bear market, all speculative assets tend to lose their value. And so Gala went down. It didn't go down half as much as a lot of the other coins out there, but it went down quite a bit, quite a lot. In fact, in November, what happened was it went up just ungodly high, and then went down low. So there's a bear market. I feel better about Gala now this year than last year. However, there's more to worry about. The bigger Gala gets, the more issues we'll probably have, because big companies are big evil companies, and they do all things wrong, and people are going to get pissed off at being screwed over. There's going to be more opportunities for people to get fucked over, and I'd really like to see Gala, being the bigger guy there and helping people out when things go wrong. So yeah, I'm seeing them delivering on their promises. I'm seeing them getting, and I'm seeing them getting punched in the face by their own stupidity. And I think they're getting more experience in the space. When I compare them to the other things that are out there, I still don't see a lot of other companies like Gala. I don't see Web3 companies with multiple games. There's some, actually. There's some imitators out there. There's one called Myria that has a game that almost looks exactly like Townstar, and Myria is trying to do the same thing as Gala. So maybe their imitators will pass them up. But I see Gala building, and I see them getting better. And yeah, they're screwing up left and right. Oh well, those are the breaks. So I'm sure you were prepared for that answer. So why don't you give me your other side?
Well, there is no other side. I was asking a genuine question. I mean, if you were going to hedge a bet today, you had you got some tax windfall. Let's say your accountant calls you and says, "Hey, Faz, we discovered that you get $30,000 back from taxes, and we're going to deposit that in your account tomorrow. Would you take that 30,000 and put it in Gala, or would you take that 30,000 and put it somewhere else?"
So okay, look at how the question is structured and the time period that we're in. We're in a bear market right now. I probably hold on to it. Uh, if you're going to if you're going to invest in something, okay. If I determined that maybe I wanted to take a third of it and invest it in something, probably spread it out because I don't know which company is going to do better. Some of it definitely would be Gala. Actually, I'd probably buy a sizable amount of Materium as well because I think that specific game will be doing better. But I'd still spread it out a little bit. However, I'm not looking for a big bang. I'm looking to just get ahead slowly. That's my own way of investing. I wouldn't suggest that for everybody, but yeah, Gala would be some of it.
Cool. That's all I had today. I went on a few little rants there. Um, I gave some what I think is fantastic advice. I hope they don't just pat my head and move on. Oh my goodness, my dogs are killing me. So what else do you have that you think the wonderful listeners would enjoy hearing from you tonight?
Well, I was hoping we could get a little bit more into what people are saying about Gala, but I think I'll just drop this one here. Um, I've been seeing Jesse Hines dropping some truth bombs in the CryptoFaz Discord lately. Some interesting stuff there. Um, so
What
we're
channels?
well, I think people should just go on the CryptoFaz Discord and start finding out where he said stuff. But we're going to be talking to him in the next week or so, or at least that's the plan. Sometimes things cancel, but I have high hopes. We're going to be talking to him in the next week or so, uh, and I hope to bring up some of those things that he's mentioned. I'd like to hear more on some of these truth bombs he's been dropping.
Have we had any other conversations with maybe some of the other contributors that dropped some interesting information at CFA recently to maybe have them on the show?
Oh, you mean Old Man Smithers?
And Doc, I'm going to call out Doc again.
Oh, Doc's not coming on the show. He's too chicken. Every,
I
every time I've suggested it to him twice, and he doesn't trust me. Either he thinks we're
I
going to set him up, or he's just well. I won't say what how he feels. He's very good at saying how he feels. I don't think he trusts me.
Doc, come on, man. You got to come
We're
on.
nice to everybody who comes on the show. We don't paint them into a corner. We don't make them look like idiots.
Well, okay, so I think the commentary over the last couple of days in CFA has been awesome. The contributions that people are throwing in, the conversations are not superficial. These are deep conversations with deep thought, and it really it drives me nuts because I have to work a day job, man, and every time I pee, I check my phone
Dude, get
when
a
I'm done,
life.
of course, when I'm done, and I see all this stuff, and I'm like, oh man, I can't wait to get home, and I can't wait to dig into reading deeply into what this stuff is about. I say it a lot, and I hope I don't come across as disingenuous or anything, but God, this community that we have here is ridiculously awesome, ridiculously smart. I couldn't have asked for a better, if I were to go back to day one of CFA and say, if I could build a community, here's what I'd have in it, and here's the people I would have in it, I wouldn't ask for anything but what we got, man. This is like awesome stuff.
Well, on that note, I think we should wrap this one up. I very much appreciate you guys coming by, and hopefully you've learned something here and there. Hopefully I've learned something. I personally feel that people learn while they talk. So I'm actually learning. People tend to clarify their own thoughts while they're talking. And I'm not afraid of saying that even when I'm explaining things to people, I learn things. We learn by doing, and if you really want to learn something, teach something to somebody. So to that end, I've learned a lot even today. So we're going to get out of here. Thank you very much, Mr. Titan, as always.
No, thank you. This was a good one. I think we covered a ton of topics. It's going to be a rough edit on this to get those chapters put in.
Yeah, you got to put the chapters in the last one too.
I know. I haven't gotten that far yet.
All right. That's it for now. Bye. Oh, wait, Titan. We have our pre-recorded outro to do. Can you say your thing so that people will know?
Oh, absolutely. Hey, subscribe, and throw some comments below. That helps us, which in turn helps us provide you with much, much better content every week. Thanks for being a listener. Thanks for supporting the channel.
And thanks for sitting through our pre-recorded outro.